Hey, my name's Tyler Boronski. You're watching my YouTube channel where I'm sitting down with recognizable faces in entertainment and the digital space. Today's guest, he's a rising star in the acting industry, appearing in projects such as The First Lady and Loki. But I would say his stock has continued to rise after his recent performance in Netflix's Stranger Things Season 4, Volume 1. I'm giving you guys the warning now. There will be spoilers. It's been out for 3 weeks now, like about a month. So you got no excuse at this point. This is the most popular show. So, we want you guys to watch this interview. But if it means clicking off for the time being, finishing Stranger Things and then coming back, then, so be it. So we got Raphael Luce on the show today. He plays young Henry Creel, a.k.a. 001, a.k.a. young Vecna. So a very important character in the show. Raphael, thanks for taking a few minutes.
Yeah, thank you. This is going to be great.
Absolutely, man. Well, to get into it a little bit, your character turns out to be a very vital character in the show, safe to say. Plot twist at the end, Henry Creel is alive. He's the one that massacred his family, not his father, Victor, like the show kind of leads up to making us think. I know how these big projects works, though. They don't always tell all the actors everything ahead of time. So how much of the storyline did you know while filming your scenes?
Honestly, barely anything. I didn't know much. I think I kind of knew I was going to turn into Vecna, and I think I knew I was number one, but they didn't tell me much except that. So it's kind of hard sometimes to figure out my character a little bit. But at the end, I had to ask some people what my character was. But yeah, I figured it out.
It's funny also too, your character. Like I said, you are such an important character. But the weird thing is you actually have zero dialogue throughout the show. Yeah. All your shots are a little slow pan shots or just close-ups of you.
I didn't have any dialogue, sadly, but at least I can, when I do that, I can focus more on my acting, I guess, and it brings me more, I can focus on my emotions and everything. But honestly, I don't feel like that bad that I didn't have any dialogue because my character does seem kind of important for the telling story.
I don't think that's a bad thing at all, to be honest. Yeah. I think it's just a different challenge for you. I mean, what is your mindset though as you're filming these scenes? Because I feel like your character has to be just curious / kind of depressed. I don't know. So how do you kind of get into that mindset?
I'm just I'm finding out that I have powers, so I'm testing out, seeing my limits. I tried it on that bunny, and then I tried it on my lights. And when I saw that I could do it on my lights, I was like, can I do it on that person? And then that's how it left off, and that's how I progressed in becoming evil, I guess.
Because there was no dialogue for your character, what was your audition like for this show, for this character?
I remember it slightly. So I had to be kind of I was sitting in a seat, and then all of a sudden I kind of see something and I start getting scared, and then it starts, I'm supposed to be acting like if it's the monster starting to run at me, and then I start screaming and being scared. And then we did 2 of those. And I think they sent me a couple of those, but yeah.
Gotcha. So you got to fake that there's a monster out there or something.
Be scared, yeah.
With this show, there's several scenes where it's the same scene, but the perspective change. And what I mean by that is in episode 4, when they show your family entering the house for the first time, they focus it in that episode on your dad, Kevin L. Johnson, Victor Creel, because Nancy and Robin are talking to him in the jail. In episode 7, it focuses on you because the older version of your character is talking to 11. So I'm curious how they filmed that in the sense of, was there multiple cameras at the same time, or do they make you guys do the same scene? And
there was not actually multiple cameras. I think we just shot all of that first week we shot that. We shot the house, coming in through the house, and then us running up the stairs. But I think we did most of that just that week. But and then there's a couple things we did a year later and a couple months later, and 2 years later. So it was not shot at the same time, no.
Was the one with Nancy, Natalia, was she in person for that one? They showed at the end? Or
she was, okay. Actually. Yeah, that was later on, a couple of years later, before, because we had to redo the shot, and then it was later on.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was trying to figure out if they just somehow was able to piece her in.
Yeah, because of COVID and everything.
How did they film this scene where you guys are sitting at the dinner table and you brutally murder your mom? How do they put on a wire or something, and then have a dummy like throw her onto the table?
We just shot the part when I'm doing the lights, and then they zoom into my face, and then that's it. And when she floats up, that's a whole different scene. That's actually lots of green screen on a stunt double's arms, and then they kind of just cut into two parts. So when she goes to float up, that person has like green screen on them, and they float up, and then like the wires pull them up on above the table, and then she falls onto the table. So that's like a whole different scene.
So interesting. That's why I love this, like the movie making or TV making process. Honestly, these are like movies at this point. The way you guys
I feel like they should have maybe done like more like behind the scenes stuff, you know?
I saw one video. Oh, I don't know if you've been following them on social media. Like they've been showing like behind the scenes of how Jamie, the older version of you, like gets ready in the Vecna costume.
Oh yeah. I saw that. That was it. Oh my god. I would hate to be in that chair right there. Oh my god, it just takes hours and hours.
Well, the funny thing is there's like so many like memes afterwards too, because like Jamie's like in the Vecna costume, you know, but he's like drinking a Starbucks or he's like on the phone, and it's just like Vecna in a normal state. So
you gotta keep yourself entertained when you're in that seat for that long. I mean, I had to do I had the most costumes out of all the characters because I had so many flashbacks, and in flashbacks I'm wearing different clothes every time. So I had to wear like 11 different outfits, and every time I would have to go into a costume fitting, and like it would take hours. I had to change some of my costume because after a year or two of like just of COVID and stuff, everyone grew a couple inches. So
correct me if I'm wrong, I think you got to work with two different directors, the Duffers and then Sean Levy.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Yeah, they're really great. Honestly, I'd love to work under them again.
Yeah, well, how did they differ in how they operated, how they directed and dealt with you guys?
That's confusing. I'm not sure exactly. I'm not sure.
It's fine though. Like, my experience, like when I did background for season 3, and like you're around the Duffers a lot, I'm like, these guys just are nonstop.
They know what they're doing for sure, and
they know what they're doing. They always had like a plan in their head, and I was like, but they're like nonstop. Like they're just constantly working, and like I never saw them even like take a dinner break or I don't know.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
they're just.
Yeah, I did notice that. Like, I never saw them go and get a snack, maybe from Crafty or something. They were just always like, they work so hard. I mean, that's a hard job for sure. I
would come back from like dinner early, and then I would just like, you know, go walk around like the Starcourt Mall. And they like were there the entire time. So I was like thinking in my head, I'm like, they probably never actually like took a dinner break, but and they're always together too. They like never separate. I was curious for you. You made a Instagram post with Gaten Matarazzo, Dustin.
Oh yeah.
You said you guys created a little bond together. He went out of his way to make you feel part of it.
A couple times we talked, and actually the time when we took that photo was actually it's kind of a cool story. There was like a tornado, but like kind of far away, and all the crew members had to go in this big warehouse, and so every cast member, crew member, riggers, and everything all had to go in this one place. And during that time, we kind of just we talked a little bit, and then we played like I forgot. We were playing this game on this notebook where we had to write a story or something. It was kind of cool, but yeah, we got to hang out a little bit. That's awesome. I'm glad you know he made you comfortable and you know part of the crew. Because he's so welcoming, so nice. It was really nice.
Yeah, well, I imagine it's a little different than that. I mean, the show's been established for a while, so a lot of them, you know, have been working together for all these years, and you're a new character come into it. You know, it's kind of like like joining like a new school type of deal. You know, you're the new kid at first, but that's cool. I'm a little sad that I didn't get to work with them because I'm a flashback, but you know, it is what it is. You mentioned how many years you guys have been working on this show. I'm assuming like over like 3 years worth of being in this process. And you had to keep it a secret for that long, but it was so tough. It was. Keeping a Stranger Things that big of a secret for 3 years, me just wanting to tell everyone, but like I know that I have to keep the secret, but in the end it was worth it again. If I wait those 3 years, you know, it's great. Well, the good thing is you didn't have to wait until the show came out because they featured you in the teaser trailer promotion. I was so surprised when I was very happy. I was kind of surprised I was in the trailer in the Creel house. But and I like how they made it like I looked like I was dead in the shot. So everyone kind of just forgot about that. And then when I came back, that's kind of cool when they figured out that I was still alive. I read on your IMDb page that your whole family's in the entertainment industry. You got 2 siblings that are actors. Yeah. Your parents are stunt performers and former Cirque du Soleil artists. So, and I know you said on your Instagram bio that you do some stunts of your own. So What what stunts do you do?
I've done a whole bunch of I've practiced stunt stuff with John Moyo. I don't know if anyone knows him, but he's big in the stunt industry. And we've worked on high fall stunt fights. We've done flips and air rams and all of that. So I also did a really cool fire burn. We did this. It was not with John Moyo. It was a different person, but I got to do a full fire burn.
No way.
So, oh my God. Yeah.
So you're just wearing like the suit, and
we had to put on all these really all wet, slimy clothes with like special gel, and then they lit me. It was so cold that I couldn't wait for them to light me on fire. I was like, please.
Oh, that's interesting. I also read your dad though like specializes in like high wire walking. Is that true?
Yeah, he's been doing it for lots of years. He started doing it in this circus called Circus Smirkus when he was 14, and then he's just been hooked to it ever since. And he's now invented his own wire thing. It's called fire wire, where he walks on the flaming tightrope.
Has he taught you any like tips on how to do that?
I can walk on the wire, and he's taught me how to do that. And then he also got features in American's Got Talent Extreme, and that was really cool. It was cool to see that. The
basics of high wire walking. What tips can you give then? I guess not like I'm just suggesting anyone try this, but just curious, like how do you even start if you're like you've never done it before? Like what's the process of getting better at it?
It's all about the arms. Like honestly, keep your body straight. And if you're doing it with no balance pole, a balance pole is when you hold a big metal like stick, and then it definitely helps you to balance. But if you're just doing it with the hands, don't move your hips out. Just keep straight. Yeah, it's like opposite of slackline.
That's so cool though. I think you're definitely the first person I've talked to with any like stunt background. So I also read that you split your time between all these different places. You're south of France, you're LA, New Orleans, Atlanta. You're from Vermont originally. So it's like,
we travel a lot. I mean, we go from France, where we have a house there. My mom's from France, so she has family there. So we live there part-time. Then we live in New Orleans on a big like 50-foot boat. And then in LA, we live with some really cool friends, and it's like a really cool, like big family. And it's just, we travel so much, and it's incredible. Our schedule is just absolutely packed.
Do your parents because like I said, you got a couple other siblings that are in the same industry, I think similar in age. So like, do you sometimes go to these places by yourself? Do your parents figure out like which kid I'm going with? Like, how do they split it up?
Sometimes we just take everyone, and we go, and even the cats, sometimes we bring them. It depends how long we're going. But sometimes it's tough to figure out who we're going with or what people we're taking. Sometimes we just split ways for a couple months and then come back. It's tough.
Man, that's full dedication. But like I said, I mean, your whole family's in this industry, so I guess it does make sense at the end of the day. You guys pack up and go where you need to go. Last question for you, and we kind of spoke about this even before we started, but how this show has been, I don't want to say breakout role because you're still a young dude, but it's been a rise for you in your career.
That's like, this is big for me.
Yeah. So, I mean, what has this show done for your career already, if you can, almost describe it in a sense?
It's gone way up. I mean, skyrocketed. And now people are starting to recognize me. And this is just such a cool experience to be on this like legendary show. And it's interesting kind of, because I'm not used to this. So it's weird to deal with this, but it's fun.
Even your Instagram, bro. Your Instagram just went like crazy high with the followers and the fan art and all that, edits and all stuff.
Oh my God, it's so much. It's fun to see all these really cool like drawings of Henry Creel, and I'm like, it's so interesting, and I really appreciate it. It's so much fun seeing all these really cool drawings.
Well, you did fantastic in this show. This was such a fun, even first part of the season. Remember, I guess we got a second part to look forward to for fans.
Part 2, July 1st. Yeah.
Absolutely. We got to circle down in the calendar for sure. But Raphael, appreciate the time, brother. And I know I'll be seeing you in a lot of stuff in the future. So hopefully we can, do a follow-up down the line.
Well, thank you so much.
Hey kid, don't ever let them get inside your head.